Good morning. It is always grateful and always wonderful to be in the house of the Lord. And I'm always grateful and I'm always excited when I have the opportunity to stand before the Lord's children. And always excited to see all of you so beautiful, handsome. So when we wake up in the morning and see the daylight and have our breath, let's just give thanks to the Lord because He's the only one that always takes care of us. I want to thank the leadership here for supporting the youth for the youth lectureship last week. It was very grateful. It was wonderful. It's been over 5 or 6 years that we had something like that, and this have opened another way for us to find a way to do it more.
Osha said media ABC yache na yakoye no akoye niji bebre na abie ekwan foforo e de amaye ogidi se ya.
I personally thank God because these have reconnected our youth from many states and many congregations and many places.
Za jumedie aka emranti wani nketesia other states, album na
Other lectureship, there were a lot of mixed emotions.
There
were a lot of bullets that was thrown to the elderly and the parents. Bullets. A lot of concerns.
Yeah.
And also privately, there were a lot of concerns also that were brought out from the preachers, the leaders, the elders, the parents behind the scene.
Now, in Shamudiano, the film by and Palano, actually, I dream near maybe a how the year, actually, for no, and penning for. And ma any member or much there I dream be brave. Ujidi say a bebo dashing.
And the parents, the preachers, the elderly ones also raised a lot of concern privately about our young people.
Now, a church for a so for any penning for as a funo emuno. A pinomo a can in Sembi a far and mantua any enkitisiano and one. I was
engaged in a phone call at night and spoke for almost an hour or more of how best what we can do to be able to help our young people to change certain behaviors.
Now, many obitna phone so and now my true for so best I don't feel back home or we hear a quiet of Fasoa and Mantua and Inkitisiano.
And this raised many concerns, and the encouragement was we need to try the best we can and address our people or our young people in the various places wherever we came from.
Now, you say, who be here, say, Rantua and Inkitisian, or Mapecumbia Faso, what is Ama Abuao.
Some of these behaviors were going on all over, everywhere, and sometimes it becomes very sensitive because the moment you start talking about it, the moment people try to vote on their feet. Voting in their feet meaning, well, if you want to talk about me, you want to talk about it, then I won't be there, I won't come.
And the be on one, na and my son can acquire be over. It been on one, all can, none I dream, and he said, and no more than I become dear. And you're winning my family.
What triggered this? And this wasn't about that particular brother. What triggered this was There was a young brother that I personally also admire. And he was part of those who led the Lord's Supper. And he braided his hair so big.
Yo, we assembia okay, branch bia obedi erade edidi enim omo obedi erade enim no kan oba no oboditi.
First of all, I want to say that for him doing that and standing in front of the communion have energized and opened a conversation that we need to talk about.
Na owura no ne tibia odibedi erade edidi enim no ebie enkomodie biso a I don't
want to condemn him, but I want us, all of us, to be together and encourage one another so that we can understand each other, from both us, the elderly ones, and the younger one. Because if we're not there, they will be the one the church will be leaning on.
Empenyin e wasafu mu ene nkwala no ye bekoso edi nkomo na yehu anamu tio ene esukura awose omo efemu esanse daachi bi yeni honuma omo na ombesi anan.
So today's message is to open our conversation to help us to find a possible ways to help our young ones.
Enti na me ne nkomodie no mi ne po nyina ne se and I
know when I leave here today, I will have a lot of phone calls, and maybe the young one will be, as long as they don't nail me to the wall. But I just want us to have a conversation. We don't want to condemn you, but we want all of us to reason together the purpose of why we do certain things and the purpose of why some of us say certain things. So as a young person, the key element to your survival as a young person in this society is to be able to determine how you're going to live your life, how you're going to find a ways and means to solve the challenges and the problems that come into your life each and every blessed day in this society.
So we are a branch here, and as we are Katesia, while Bravo Echina, a quaya, Obefaso whom we are see, said ye whom we are see, and he said ye, we yo home, and no in a Bejina Abraba, or Daching.
You see, today's world, many young people live below the level of their potential. And
Emrantiwa, and I say, if you are seeing one, Emrantian Ketisiano, Wama Brapa Mosha, Obetimi, Ajani Pebi Asne, near all yes is here. Nanso Ubuni home Abunfia.
Sometimes it's partly because of the kind of decisions that you make.
At the the entire tisa ano aye wadwen
young people today are growing up in a shifting and complicated world. We understand that.
And I'm writing Ketesia omu wiase no aye usomo so usha and share aye or how bebre e wasasi so. Many
don't believe and don't care about spiritual matters.
Bebre omo fa omo
So I think each and every blessed day, especially from today, it is always essential, always good for the young ones to re-examine your Christianity, to take a diagnostic about your faith, your relationship with God, your spirituality.
Free Sabri Aircron. And maintaining it is a way, on Beshasie, no more chinning, one more a cra, one more bravois, war, one near a young far, a down on your coupon and temno, or Beshasie, now what Jinamo.
You see, I'm not blaming you because you didn't start it. This thing started right from the Bible time, and that's why Paul took it upon himself in the book of Timothy, the book of Titus, the book of Ephesus. Paul always emphasized on the young people, young people, young people.
Me mum abem esan say enyomo no ma hyase esi dadada eni ntisa wo hwe Paul and someone wo twere akoma Timothy ene Titus ene ona aka ho no a na ekoso na Paul ejibre eka ehonsem.
It is the same mindset that when Paul's mind, when he saw that Timothy was raised by 2 women, and Paul found out he said, wait a minute, I need to give you a manhood. So he took Timothy and mentored him.
And see, Paul, Timothy, our ranty one name, not where you're strong, was it Debbie or Father? Now what church, the young person, Emmanuel, any abrabo pa. So
the book of Titus, especially chapter 2, discuss about behavior of God's people. And talking about God's people, Paul started with verse 1, he talked about the behavior of the man, the behavior of the woman, and the behavior of the young man, and then the behavior of the young woman.
It is Paul, woman, Titus, it's Tibacco, Nina, looking kind verses Nina, and then the team you don't know. What you say, Paul? Actually, Obresu, was a rantier in a D, and Kitesia in a D, and Merwa in a D, and Copraso in a D, or Unyamsum Abraham.
In verse 6, Paul summarized everything that they have in mind about the young one with one word.
Now, say a guy, it's in your Lunchemunsiana. Paul, Apple, a sending na tofa, na a sono.
One word, sensible. Verse 6, it said, likewise are the young men to be sensible in all they do.
Wasina, nkumane womono, womfri adwimutiemu, enya adia omuyeni nyina, munyanoka.
When he was addressing the young woman, the young woman and the older woman, he used the same word, be sensible. Now, all two Kitesia and the Emerano Fononso, or Kansasam Corona, Moonfree Adjumutiemu. And then in verse 5, he repeated the same word when he was advising the young man and the older man and the older woman to be sensible. Now, bra, all can a man say, dear no, a rantier and a Cocrano sono. Sassam Conra and Odia Juma said. So it is very important, very, very important for us to have this conversation about sensibility. Webster defined the word sensible as follows.
Webster, what sensible, I say, and I overcame.
He said, an original or model proposed for imitation, an exemplar, that which is to be copied or imitated, either in things or in action.
Ne tofani said, and yoye abrabo kasemu adia we ya obi betimi ahwe so ne pa a obetimi asua eno ene gina ho ema adwenu a adwena emutie eno na wugina so ede ye obi bia.
I like the first word that Webster started, how we started with the first word, original.
And yeah, obechas ye no original ni kire say eno ne papa no ade no
original. As a human being, God created you a certain way. God expects certain behavior or certain things from you. So the way you were created originally, God expects you to be that way, original. That's why I like how Webster started it. God created me, Nicholas Mensah, as a man. I'm original, a man. Therefore, I cannot imitate or I cannot dilute or change myself to be a woman or to wear certain things. Original, I was created as what? A man.
Enti say you share Onyankopon ba obo nipa no a bra onyame boy no ye firi nyame ye nye esu enye bibi fufuro bi na ye yen ne mo Onyankopon na wa ye yen prekope No nyame hwehwɛ esu ane abrabɔ bi prekope every year mu. Ɛno ɛna nti ɛma Webster asɛm ɛyɛ de. Nti woyɛ nipa prekope. Unsa bibia usi nipa.
So thinking about the original, whatever you do, whoever you are, how God created you, according to the scripture, what God expects from you, those are original things that you as a young person need to maintain.
Near a blow Yankupon ball, Onipa, near Yankupon ehwehwe afi wo ho no. And also about whom are they? So bet him no to emu anamo.
Other biblical books or biblical the dictionaries use certain words and synonyms. A sensible can mean being a common sense, or making wise decision, or genuine in practical, or self-control. And then somebody else said, making decision with a purpose.
And it toughened and he said, a dictionary aboro actually as here, Nanina could he say, I dream mutie, na adia onipa o ye no, e gina bibi so, entia onyankopon asem, original.
Why this is so important to Paul?
And
why this is so important to us? 3 reasons why. First of all, Psalm 25 verse 7, David said, Lord, do not remember the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. In other words, don't forget it, hide it. Don't remember all the things that I've done when I was young.
David nyomne se awrade misro boni bia my die tiawo ewo mafra bremu ana minketisi abremu no me pa chewo fahinta.
You know, David did a lot of miserable things.
A
lot of terrible things. So David knew that if God would go back to his youthful time, Lord have mercy, he would not even be recognized as God's child. So it's understandable. Youthful age is the very dangerous period. Why is it very dangerous? Because as a young woman or as a young man, at a youthful time, your body develops and you become more attractive to people.
Nipeduano shishe kama enti enchena enipenyawa na omope.
Yes, a young person, your body begin to be more sexually active.
Na afenso efa adwamamo abrabo so we are branch anaye ketesia etimi edidi wo.
As a young person, you become more receptive to the influence of the world.
We are branching an architecture and check na ewiase action another what G ewiase and near my fellow who was a what Giatum open.
This is how normal. Okay, understand me. This is normal. God created us that way as a human being.
They make a nano and young one sanity, signing a coupon uponipa.
It is because it's normal that God created us this way. And being a young as a youth, that's a dangerous part. And that's why Paul was trying to tell us that in this youthful age, we need to be sensible, whatever decision we make.
Now, Esanse etu sabreya akono pone ene ewiase etimi efa unomum bra ya kitesia ana abranchi ninti ana Paul etu mranchi ni kitesia fu se ade bia mo ye no momfa adwene a emutie de be sowra de ni no eno na momfa ntia no.
You see, it is at a young age, that's when you discover yourself, who you are.
Ebra ugusunyi na wadru abranti ani nketesia abremu no. Eho na wuhu ne wote.
It was at a young age that you trying to discover your place in the society.
Sabre no ana wonso wohwehwe na wuhu wugina bia ewo abrabo mu.
It was at a young age, that's when you were able to understand and to know when am I going to leave home, when am I going to marry, who am I going to get married. All this happened at a youthful age.
Sa tibia yudru so a abrantie anaketesia eho ana wunya ya adwene a yedi free ya maame ne ya papa nchen no sabre na nya sa adwene no aware sabre no ana wunya sa adwene no.
The decision for employment, what kind of job you're going to do, how much money you want to earn, all this start at a youthful age.
Sabre no ana adwuma opeso ye sika me pesa me yode for sabre no na adwene wenu na eba.
So this useful age is when Paul is trying to address all young men to be wise, to be sensible, to be sober-minded, whatever decision you make. Because any decision that you make will determine your future.
Na sa tigiano utru ha adwene biara unya anamo bia utio no eno na ebe kire wo odachi.
Anything that you meet, any chances that you omit, any decision that you omit, and sometimes it will hurt you a lot.
Na adwene pobi wo ho a na wagya to ho waye fi wa brabo mu wamfa so eno ene bia anka eye enso edi ma wo odachi.
There's something else also about young men and women. Young men and women are full of visions, dreams, energy, and you guys know it. You're smart.
So we are brandy and I ketesia when you every or you do
but one thing that you lack is experience.
Now idea winning man say and because of that, and that's why you need to be very careful whatever decision you make. And because of that, that's why parents, family, spiritual family, the church, that's why we are here to build one another, encourage and help one another. And nonsense, and you war and pennyfua, or more experience, you know. Now, more boy in Kitesia and Imrantia, I feel no more air ban.
And I encourage the elderly ones and all of us, the parent also, that sometimes we need to have patience and we need to understand where our children are coming from.
Now, me too, me first have one way so at pennyfua, a what have we more after say? A ya, onya butre, na on take. And that's
why I encourage the young ones also. You see, your family, the spiritual family, your home, your parent, and us, some of us, the adult that we are close to you. That's what, because of you, that's what we're here. We're here to help you. Whatever concern, whatever question, whatever we see that have a problem, just come, let's reason together.
Enti emrante ni nketesia asofo se weyinti ena mpanimfo no ewo ho omo ho adema enkuma no enti se we abrante na nketesia na bibi koso wonti bibi ase bibi hawa wose ya nti ne ewo ho no obi wo ho no ma enye se bi ono na owo but utimi se oben wo woni no ayonkofa bra wo dipa ne nchen ka wasam kire no.
So verse 6 in Titus 2, it said, I urge young ones to be sensible. Now, verse 7 to 8 talks about the quality, the character, what their life, their behavior, what they need to do.
And Titus 2, no, Paul, kase, emrante ni nketesia na dibia omo ye no, Sebi, one fa adwene and to one year in Yansafo. And I did also and so on, but you which means it be
7 and 8, you know, that's when he actually go into details of the kind of behavior, the kind of things that we should do.
Now 7 and 8, you know, I feel Paul Bieso and Niema said, yeah.
So he said, in all things, show yourself to be an example of good deeds.
Adine you modi se obia enyuma pa ahyenoma.
I don't want to go into details of all this. When he said good deed, I believe you understand what he mean by good deed.
Me be se be ko emu bebre na se ye ka enyuma pa me gidi se obi atias.
Let me read further. And he said, be an example of good deed with purity in doctrine and dignified.
Adine munyi mudi se wona enyuma pa ahye omma obuo anidie ahotie.
In sound speech, which is beyond reproach, in order that the opponent may be put to shame, having nothing but to say about us.
Na kasemu emu emere nyam na mo abrabo no nyina ka bomu a otamfo no enya sembani bi anka amfa mo ho.
There's a word in the last sentence, the last one. And it's very important. He said, in order, the reason why he said, be sensible, live your life well, be sober-minded, make a good judgment, make a good decision. So that, let me read it again. In order that the opponent is people who are not Christian, you are Christian. Okay, the people on the opposite side, he said, so that the opponent may be put to shame, having nothing but to say about us. You see, he changed it. He said, not about you, but about us.
Yeah, and he all kind of said, dear Ebeya, DNT and Waka near Beya. Was he a for a show? And he said, what me in your dream mutie? Na ubra zu eso enia otamfo no enya won kwa na onya sembi enka mfa ho nemu onya sembi anka emfa yen nyina eho de nti no si yen nyina.
You see, this passage is addressing you, the youth, but again he said your behavior will affect us, all of us.
O say asemi Paul ka fa emrantie ni nketisia ho na o say wanamontio wabrabo ni usu no se amfane kwan so a enye wonko na kutia wo na emom eye ye nyina.
You see, we all have choices to make. We all have decisions to make. There are certain things that are not sin, it's not wrong. I have a right to do them. I have a right to say certain things. But the question is, if I do them or say things, is it going to affect us, or is it going to affect only me?
Obia woni fa ahudie. Ade bia opesa wo ye. Ebi ye papa, ebi ye bone. Na emom ne wo ye no. Enya wonko a de enye no nya wonko na ekon editia wo. Sanso na ne wo ya eye no so. Enya wonko a na ye na se wo. So say eye nyina.
So Paul is pleading with you, the young ones there. Because you will be the leaders of the church tomorrow. So Paul is exhorting you that you must watch what you say, watch what you do, watch your behavior, watch your life. Because when people look at you, they will condemn me and they will condemn all of us.
And Paul, a footio, and he said, that she be no penny for you are, and right here in Kitisiano, Monamba share a nine. And inti. Oba be ye enhweso adiama enkrofo enti hwede wo ye hwene wo ka hwese de onantie etie isa se enye wo nko a ena awieye no ye beka wo ho asem na emum ye beka ye nyina ho asem se ye papa se ye bone.
There's a story of a missionary lady who went to overseas to do a mission work.
We efa mami bi ho a na otukwai akoka onyankopon asem.
In that country, women don't shave their legs.
Na sa kro so no, wo oba ona ahumie no, eni se wuyi.
The only women that shave their head are prostitutes in that country.
Wo oba unyi wuti. Wo mo mu yi omuti no, eye sebi.
Shave their leg. We
Okay, first mekani, okay.
Okay.
Enti wo mo eyi wo na ho no, eye sebi, wo mo muti e ma wo muti epono ano.
So there was an American missionary, a lady who went to that country.
Enti sa ewre ya ye kan ho asem e ko okri so.
And shaved her legs, you know.
Or you say
shave your leg.
You say promo de e ma no wo mo eyi wo mo nan ho.
So when she went there, all the women there, everybody, both the men and the women, they were kind of frightened. How can a Christian shave your leg? So they hated her and they didn't want. It's abomination, because to that country, people who shave their legs are prostitutes.
Na mami edu kromo for any boy muso go be a konechi. Hey. Now when no say odi Nyankopon asem ebre sabi obi a wote ekona no eni akoye asem bi a omunti bi da.
You see, that woman, that American woman, have a choice to make. He can say the word. What is wrong with shaving hair? Maybe you guys are ignorant, you don't know. I have to teach you. I have to educate you.
Mama no ko ho kwan so ka kire o mo se na obanso wi na ho na yeden nim na munim mo trust na min kire mo min ka bi.
It's my leg.
Me nine.
It's natural. It's genuine. It's normal. God gave it to me. I have a right to not to condone with what they do.
Me na me de me ho na me na hu mi pese be jam so for na me ya mo how they say.
But for the sake of preaching the gospel, that woman stayed in that country for years, never shaved her leg.
Ebra maame no ehu sa no afi de enwi ne ba na oja wo enwi ni na ho bio Yesu Kristo asem ni nti ye be ya obenya edom no akanya me asem a kire.
And she became more loved, and the missionary that went there became more loved, and they all bound together as family in the Lord.
Afi wo hu se maame no ne na ho mi afi afu
So my whole point is this. We all have a right to do certain things. But the question is, before I exercise that right, let me ask myself, what are some of the implications that is going to give to my family, to my church, to my peers, to the people that I want to preach the gospel to?
Adwempe na me nkrofo mabusia me nafofo ebedwene.
You see, I've heard something that they said, well, all this, the major motivation speakers, the rich people, the celebrities, the helper, the encourager, the motivators, most of them are braid their hair, most of them, they have tattoos, most of them, they're not doing everything. They empower us, they educate us, they encourage us, they are motivational speakers. So there is nothing wrong with it.
Say, nipa sunku bia owo omayimu na enipa tie wo mu nipa gitwi ekwohwe wo mu ombegina domani no mo kasa mo to nwom na mo de tattoo uti mu se ensem mo ka bibia ensi ne ho kwan.
My little children.
Now so me market kuma.
I can call you my children because I'll be I'll be 58 years old soon.
Me man kuma bet me afrem kuma but enye mu nyina. Ebinu mo dia.
There was a child who had an argument with his father.
Abofra bi o ha one ne papa enya
he dropped out of school. He dropped out of school. And he was thinking there's something in his heart he wanted to do, and that's what he wanted to pursue. So school is not for him.
And a branch here they say, and now branch. Oh, a branch here they say, Papa, school no mean could you beat them up my so and then I'm person me.
So argument was going back and forth. And the young guy said, look here, look at Kanye West. He's rich. He got an airplane. He got everything. He writes songs. He motivates us. Why can't I be like him? He doesn't even go to church.
A branch here they say, Da, Missy me go school. No? Now West. Was he can say town? Yet Tiano Pa, yet Tiano, I didn't mean to me at his own.
And thank God the father knew a little bit about Kanye West.
The young say, now Papa no, when him West, when you know what's it.
You see, yes, it is true. Kanye West dropped out of school and he wrote a song, Drop Out of School, of College. He dropped out of college and he wrote a song, Drop Out of College, and everybody loved it. It's a beautiful song.
I was saying, West, well, we are school. And you know, school now, 1 year, what the year, I'm going for any year, you know.
But this is what people don't know.
Now, I dear be a independent woman.
Kanye West's mother was school administrator, school principal.
I'm afraid West, no, not the mommy, school. Not where you administrator.
Kanye West's mother trained his children when they were small. A child in elementary school can compete with somebody in a college.
Mamma no actually my dear ma, dear our elementary school no, with me obia our secondary school, Asia, about the same one.
So Kanye West in a high school can get straight A from college students, and he actually the best.
Now
because of his mother.
Dear Nima make Kanye West, Nima made it no, Brown or high school no. Now, what they need to do be a war college one, no, I bring with my dear.
So he decided it's a waste of time to go to college because the people sitting there, my knowledge is very higher than them. And in his life, he wants to write music.
What's it? Make a college up a day. One more, me, my dear grass in the woman.
So he dropped out. My little children and my brothers and sisters, if your mother is not school principal, if your knowledge is not up to the college student,
so we need any college students for
don't play around with your education. Because that's your life and that's your future. So don't compare yourself with celebrities. You are Christian, you have values. God expects to use you to win them. God expects to use you to be an instrument to win, to send the gospel to the world.
Aketesia ene abrantie. What's it? Ma ensia sa ewiasefo na mfo mo adwenu bi. Wo de wo yo Kristoni. But what day, nature na more, a more any asem na dache, what boa a froso.
There's something also that I heard.
I never also have me.
You see, many of our young ones also have friends with gay, lesbians and all that and all that.
Yeah, ma, Epinomoso, I want to for 1 year gay. Any lesbian and any tree in the answer.
I'm not saying don't go there, but what I'm going to tell you is what you can do so that you can use your influence to change them. But what I've been hearing is that, well, they are my friend and that's how they want to be. And they always say, well, that's my life. I was born that way, so this is who I am. You can be with me or not. It doesn't matter. This is who I am.
Na sir, we are a Christian abaya and a brantie. Now a down for be a gay and a lesbian. Was it, oh, but more in boom. Sir, ma unipano, Nania Pano so, and a braba or bono. Or not the idea the old can say. Sir, the woman. You will more bad, but me who's your bema. Ubi nso me ye be ma de but me hu say me mu no me ye oba na enti me de me nsesa.
You see, I like that energy. That this is who I am. I was created as a gay. I was born like this. This is who I am. I want that energy from my own young ones to stand in your foot and defend what you believe. I am a Christian. I am a God child. I can't say this. I can't go there. I can't do this. But I have to use whatever I have to encourage somebody else.
Said ye gay for any lesbian for no one ejitie no mo kina o pinti no mo kasa no. Me wesa akukontro ani sa agidie no afri o kristoni abrantie ana o kristoni abaya ho wonso gina mi o kristoni mi gidie ani mani da so ani Yesu abrabo pi o ma emfata me mi nkomuda mi nya bi da mama ma abrabo ya ihwaso pa ade ama afoforo ye hwesa gidie nyina so e wo ye nuanu kuma yi.
2 Timothy 2:2, the Bible says, the things that you have heard from me among many witnesses, the same commit to faithful men who shall also be teach other faithful men.
Timothy, ngoma etoso mienu no, etremienu, enchemu mienu no. Was say ensampa wonya edi afiri wo no. Paul eni etu Timothy fo no. So mu dindindin. Na fa kire wona obetimi aso asemu mu. 2
Timothy 2:22 also said, now flee youthful lust and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart.
2 Timothy 2 verse 22 also was say Johnny free honam akono na waye enhweso pa e dia me wiase Johnny efiri ewiase akono emu.
So my whole message to you this morning is this.
Entienda me sema wo nyina ema mo ene se.
The youthful age is very dangerous.
Emranti bremu abrabo no ehu.
There are a lot of chaos in the world we live.
Ewiase aye omu yetim se niam bebre ekoso a ninya.
There are a lot of negative influence in the world we live.
Ewiase aye wei efutuo ene kasa a emwa onipa brabo.
So Paul is saying that flee from your useful life.
Na Paul kase dwane efiri omranti bremu akono. Branti bremu akono.
By so doing, you can able to be a tool for the Lord.
Na so yesa waye onipa onyankopon ediwoye bibia eyiye.
Like I said earlier, I'm opening a conversation. Don't listen today and shut up and close your mind. But let's have a conversation and keep talking and find out, ask questions, and let's help one another so that we can able to solve and build ourselves in the Lord.
Me person beka say also for me dey for wasem no to baby na yemiri ye ho. Ne mom no eye nkomodie na me bie so. Ma ho kwan na bra anim so for ne ke ho a o se ebe hu no se asorpani Celia bra be hu no na yeni nkomo se ma mi bi wo hanom a kone nchen papa bi wo hanom a ayi utimi srekire no a kone nchen busebusa ansem na yeni ye ho ano na yemfa ne ebeboa nye wo nko a yenyina.
So if you are here and you are not part of the Lord's church, today is a day of salvation. Just give yourself to the Lord. If you are here and what I've said touch your heart, touch your mind, I want you to don't just explode, but just go to bed, sleep about it, think deeper about it, and know that you have value. You are Christian. You are created. And whatever you do, there must be a purpose for it.
So we a hogo away ha and near what he so person do hum radia and there any adombre. So we are Catesia and a brantia and someone be catch away. Mean per se, Obenya and Tiasia Fufrubia aka a home said. Me person be a quine. Edima and ranting in Catesia and in pennyphone comedy. Na etimia bois. Ano wanya enyina so pa ene ɛne daakye wayɛ onipa a onyankopɔn de kɔ yɛ adwuma na ahyɛ wo no animuonyam.
And one more thing that I can tell you, it doesn't matter what I said, you are still our children.
Ɛmfa wo no yɛ meka yɛ biara woyɛ yɛ ma.
Whatever you do, it's your choice.
Na nea woyɛ no deɛ ɛyɛ wankasa wopɛ mu.
And we're here for you. Thank you.
Na yɛwɔ ha ɛma wo. Awurade nhyɛ n'asɛm so. Amen.
Amen. Mine answering now. English hymn number 480. 480. Blessed assurance. You better first and the last stanzas. The first and the last stanza. 480. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. All of us ready, sing. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine.